In his prime, he was the best player in the league. The best player in the league he was. If you just want your goals and your numbers, your longevity, of course Hazard can't talk to Salah. But in terms of who I would pay my money to go and watch, who would get me off my seat, and every time I play against, every time he touches the ball, he was the best player in the league.
In football, it's hard to quantify everything with the stats alone. Oftentimes, you just truly had to be there to see it for yourself, because every Premier League fan knows that in the mid-2010s, he might not have scored the most goals or gave all the assists. But the one immeasurable metric that Eden Hazard undoubtedly showed us week after week is that he made football look easy. A guy with so much talent and perhaps equally as much arrogance that he would make even the most hardcore manager in Jose Mourinho bend the rules just to keep him happy. I mean, look at what his teammates had to say about him.
I don't want to train today. I don't want to. The only player I saw that did that and got away with it was Eden Hazard. The worst, the most laziest football I've ever seen in my life.
In
training, he stands there. The training starts. He stands in one place.
The managers just had to overlook the fact he didn't train.
We just let him do whatever he wants.
That's right, because without even trying or giving any serious effort, as soon as he stepped onto the pitch on match day, Hazard was embarrassing everyone in his way and making an absolute fool out of defenders. And in the words of Jose Mourinho himself, the only way to stop him
is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 fouls, aggressive fouls. They kick, match after match, and he's not being protected by referees. He's being punished by opponents.
But over the last several years, with all the unfortunate things that have gone down in the final chapter of his career in Real Madrid, stained by injury after injury, and made a mockery of in the media for costing 114 million euros, while playing only 76 matches, while sitting out for just as many with the 76 matches out total, plus all the jokes of him winning a Champions League title without really doing anything. And all the slander and disrespect leading up to his final farewell from the beautiful game. Although it wasn't that long ago, people seem to have forgotten that at his very best, people called Eden Hazard the right-footed Messi. And despite whatever top goal scorer or informed player there was in the Premier League, deep down everyone knew when you were up against Hazard, the slightest mistake you make or even the slightest chance you give him, more than anyone else in England, he was gonna make you pay for it. Because when he first arrived in the Premier League, before he was a true hazard to defenders everywhere, nobody really took him that seriously. Coming from one of the less popular clubs in Ligue 1, very few people really knew what he was capable of. But from the things he was doing in France, it's a surprise that not more clubs had tried to sign him even earlier. Because in his first few seasons playing for Lille, the teenage Hazard was already winning back-to-back Young Player of the Year awards, even managing to make the Ligue 1 Team of the Year as early as 19 years old. But if that didn't already put him in the radar for major clubs around the world, at just 20 years old, he would make the jump to becoming the Ligue 1 Player of the Year, scoring 12 goals and providing 14 assists in 54 matches. Both a goal-scoring and playmaking threat combined at such a young age was already impressive. But perhaps even more so impressive is that the youngster would completely toy with the Ligue 1 defenders. Talent-wise, despite his age, they were just no match for the young Hazard, as he would help carry his regularly mid-table Ligue 1 team all the way to lift the Coupe de France trophy and to win their first Ligue 1 title in over 10 years. But if that was still somehow not enough to prove his incredible talent, the very following season, the 21-year-old Hazard would score 22 goals and provide 22 assists in 49 matches, 44 goal contributions in 49 matches, leading to him once more winning the Ligue 1 Player of the Year award. Only the second time in French football history that someone wins the award in back-to-back seasons. You'd think a generational talent like him would have already been signed by bigger or wealthier clubs for an insane valuation, but much to everyone's surprise, he would end up choosing Chelsea. Touching down in London and wearing blue, Eden Hazard would show the entire Premier League just how deadly he could really be. Despite coming as runner-ups in the FA Cup, a League Cup, Community Shield, Super Cup, and a Club World Cup, in his first season, Hazard was displaying dribbling and skill not seen in England since the days of Cristiano Ronaldo. and adjusting to a new environment with much more physical players. Despite still getting used to the change in playstyle, Hazard was still able to drop 13 goals and 21 assists on his way to helping Chelsea lift the Europa League title. Because from his very first match in England, Hazard's dribbling prowess was a constant headache for Premier League defenders everywhere. His ability to effortlessly glide through opponents, often leaving them grabbing at a shirt or grabbing thin air, really showcased not only his technical ability, but also his full skill set arsenal to completely torch defenders. And probably one of the most interesting things about Eden Hazard was how his low center of gravity and exceptional balance allowed him to stop on a dime and switch directions, making it not only challenging for defenders to anticipate his next move, but also making it incredibly hard to take him down. I mean, just see what Yaya Toure and Declan Rice have to say.
No one can catch him because he have his different posterior. He's massive.
People his bum and body.
That's the thing, is that one time I was explaining that to one journalist, he was laughing at me.
Yeah,
I
he
said,
don't
why
understand.
Are you laughing? He said, no, but why are you talking about these bumps? I said, but it is little one. He's small and his bum is there. When you put your feet, he put his bum ass like that and he turned.
And when you add all of that with his close control, he was a complete nightmare to contain and just made defenders look stupid. In terms of close control under pressure and ability to navigate through tight space, at his very best, he was getting compared to Lionel Messi. And personally, I'd even go on to say that Hazard was basically a quicker and more offensive version of Iniesta, because although he wasn't as good of a playmaker as both, his dribbling and ball control was so good he was able to slash past defenders and provide the perfect pass for the assist. Though he might not have been the very best at build-up play or long-range passing, Hazard's playmaking focused on one thing: creating big chances. Because once he got past your defenders, he was either passing for the assist or scoring the goal himself. Whether playing centrally as an attacking midfielder or out wide as a winger, you knew that once he got the ball, he was finding a way to go for goal. And Hazard's vision, close distance playmaking, and passing regularly created chaos for backlines all throughout England. And while it's true that there might have been many great midfielders with both immaculate dribbling and playmaking, with Hazard you had all that, but with the added pace and goal-scoring ability. I mean, you guys can see for yourself. Again, while he didn't have the most goals or always provide the most assists, everyone watching the Premier League knew that on any given night, Eden Hazard could be the biggest threat on the pitch. The best way I could simply summarize all of his skill is by saying that truly, he made the Premier League look easy, earning admiration not only from fans and pundits alike, but also undeniable acknowledgement from the opposition. At his very best in England, aside from being an absolute threat to ball boys everywhere, looking at pure skill and ability, it's hard to deny that Hazard was the best player in the Premier League. By his second season in England, he was providing 17 goals and 8 assists, being named as Chelsea's Player of the Year, making back-to-back Premier League Team of the Year appearances, all while still being young enough to win the PFA Young Player of the Year award. But without a doubt, his 2014-15 campaign solidified him as one of the best players to grace the league, providing 19 goals and 12 assists, helping Chelsea win the League Cup and reclaiming the Premier League title, all while being named the Premier League Player of the Season and the PFA Player of the Year. And again, while his stats weren't anything insane, whenever he had the ball on a week-to-week basis, he would amaze supporters and opposition alike, torching everyone and showing them that he was the best. It's actually kind of surprising that he only won the Player of the Season award once. Getting past defenders with ease and being so hard to stop meant that, like Jose Mourinho said, the only way to really stop him was to foul and foul him hard. And from that season on, his injuries would start to add up. But for the moments that he was healthy and in form, which since 2015 would get less and less, back then you would have found it quite hard to argue that skill-wise, Hazard still wasn't the best player in the league. Being out from injury for 2 months in the 15-16 season and out for 97 days in the 16-17 season, despite scoring 17 goals and providing 7 assists, winning his second Premier League title with Chelsea, or his 17-18 season where he scored 17 goals and provided 13 assists, winning and lifting the FA Cup. It was getting increasingly more rare to see a healthy and best version of Eden Hazard. And the last time we really saw a healthy Eden Hazard was in the 2018-19 season, because despite being out from injury for 3 weeks, even going on to win the silver ball in the 2018 World Cup, he would have what was probably his best individual performing season, scoring 21 goals and providing 17 assists, being named the Premier League Playmaker of the Season for providing the most assists. This would really be the last that we saw of Eden Hazard. Over the next 4 seasons, he would be out from injury for 500 days. But make no mistake, at Chelsea, Eden Hazard was a generational talent, being so good that opposition fans and players really had no choice but to respect and acknowledge his greatness.